Yeah, we are healing together. So we're actually on a 12 days of healing from being discarded, ghosted, blocked by an avoidant, especially. But you're welcome to join us if you've been discarded by a narcissist or whomever. Any kind of heartbreak is really, it can still be traumatic for us. It's a trauma to go through that, to experience someone just abruptly leaving you, cutting things off on you, and just pulling the rug out from under you, and you just feel like that wasn't fair. I didn't get an opportunity to really express myself and help the person and make them know me and be understood and to understand them. A lot of times we just don't understand what it is that they're having a problem with. Sometimes they don't communicate. They just bounce. And sometimes they do so in a way that's so sudden and messy that it leaves unfinished literal business is just unfinished. Like you literally have like bills in their name or your name is there on their bills, and they just leave it like that. Like, hey, we have to figure these things out. Like if you're going to leave, fine, but communicate. But they don't, which is so bewildering. And it leaves us with this feeling of like, what was that? Did they love me? Was that all fake then? Because I don't have the ability to just walk away suddenly on someone like that. But they have the ability to walk away like that. So maybe it's me. And you start doubting your own reality. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the reason that maybe I'm the drama. So you get this idea in your head that you maybe made it up and you're not seeing things clearly and you're wondering how it could have all turned out this way. And in reality, what you experienced was a trauma. It was a violation of your boundaries, a violation of your agreement, unspoken as it may have been as a couple. And that is abuse. When you are mistreated, when you are neglected, when you are abandoned, that's a form of abuse. And you have to give that to yourself. You got to be kind to yourself. So if you're just tuning in here, we are on day number 9 of our 12 days of healing. Give yourself a little tiny finger clap. Day number 9 of the 12 days of healing. So how are you feeling? Are you noticing the pain is not as intense? To the extent that you continue to feed your mind thoughts, images about them, it's to the extent that you'll continue to be stuck on them, because your mind doesn't know the difference between reality or if it's looking at a picture, the subconscious mind particularly. And the subconscious mind is the center that controls the emotional self. So all of our chemicals, our hormones, get dropped into the system from the subconscious mind. So if we trick our subconscious mind and we show pictures of that person, or we imagine images of them, or we reminisce a lot on our past together, the subconscious mind will start giving you the chemicals, and the chemicals will be at first a little dopamine hit and then a really big cortisol hit. So it'll feel good for a moment, and then it's going to hurt. And that pain could stay with you for hours if you don't regulate it. Why does it hurt? Because you're reminded that the person's not there, which is a gross violation of your inner values. And when there's a violation of your inner values, your subconscious mind drops punishing hormones into your system to let you know that your values are being violated. That's the job of the subconscious. Just let you know, hey, your values are being violated, or something's aligning with your values. If something aligns with your values and your perception, then your subconscious mind is going to drop the hormones, the chemicals that are going to feel good. The dopamine, the oxytocin, the serotonin. It feels good when something aligns with the values. That's why it felt good when they told you they loved you, when they said they wanted to get married, when they made the promises. It felt good because they were someone that you valued. They had some qualities that you valued. And so it aligned with your values to have a person like that say the things that they said. And now that they are contradicting what they said they were going to do and be, it's very violating to our values. And that's why automatically, without a doubt, you are going to get negative, painful, punishing chemicals into your system. And that's where the pain comes from the perception of a violation of your values. And the values are the self. So it's a deep violation. It's an actual violation of you. It's a violation of who you are. So it's understandable that you would feel pain. The first thing we want to do when we experience pain like this is create a devaluation list. So for all of us here today, let's start our class with a devaluation list. Right now, even if you've been doing it, even if you're not in a lot of pain, that's fine. Especially if you're in pain, you got to do this exercise right now with us. 8 reasons on a piece of paper why they do not qualify as your forever mate. 8 things about them that you don't like that much. This is our chance to zero in on some of their lesser attractive qualities, inner or outer. 8 basically bad things about them is essentially what we're doing. And this is going to help us to even out the perception in our brain of this person. So once again, we're writing down 8 reasons why the person doesn't qualify. Let's do that right now on a piece of paper. 8 reasons why the person doesn't qualify. Okay, share one of your reasons with us that you came up with while people are finishing up their lists. Share one of your reasons why they don't qualify to be your forever mate. Remember, you have standards. You might have forgot, but you got standards, and you originally were looking for someone who meets your standards. So they don't meet your standards because they're immature. Correct. Immaturity is a violation of your personal standards and all of our standards because it actually won't work. Loyalty, that's another universal violation. You can't actually have a intimate relationship with a person who's disloyal. It's not going to work. Bad hygiene, good. That's a violation of one of your standards. You're looking for something, he doesn't possess it. Focus in on that for a moment. Recognize that. Not brave enough to communicate, good. Manipulator, good. Lying too much, very good. Poor eating habits, yeah, we can't make it work with that. Can't make promises. Very good, guys. These are excellent examples of things that are eliminating them as a potential candidate to be your forever mate. His addiction to video games, his addiction to pornography, financially stingy, not willing to communicate for the sake of avoiding accountability / uncomfortable. Yeah, uncomfortable with communication. Yeah, that's a real problem. Sorry if I just accidentally sent you an invite. Just ignore that. That's a real problem. Yeah. Or I think I just sent some other person an invite by accident from another live. So when we look at the devaluation list, we feel the chemical shift inside of us. Notice the chemical shift inside of you when you look at your devaluation list. You're back in control. You feel more steady. This is very important because they became our everything, and that was a real problem. They became a little bit too much, a little bit too important, a little bit, and it wasn't causing an issue that was very apparent at first because they were pouring love back, because they were fulfilling their obligation, because they were meeting your standards. But the moment they stop being there for you, it becomes a toxic trauma bond. The moment they stop, it went from a loving arrangement to a toxic trauma bond. And by the way, we shouldn't be allowing ourselves to develop deep feelings for someone before we know all of their flaws. Because how can that be true love? That's just limerence. That's just having a crush. We need to know all of their flaws. So remind yourself, maybe I was pouring my heart in before I actually knew all of the flaws of the person. I need to know all of their flaws to know them. And I need to know them to truly, totally love them. But they became too important. We elevated them a little bit too high. And so what should go in that place of being like our main thing, our main drive, our main pursuit? Well, you should be driven by love. Love at the very source, right, is everything. In fact, there's a scripture that says God is love, right? So literally then love is the most important driving source of the most potent energy source in the universe. Love put into a goal is purpose. Everything you do in your life must align with your purpose. That is law number 9 and our theme for today. When you were with them, maybe you had a goal of getting married, of settling down, of having a partner. That's fine. In that way, being with them aligned with your purpose. Maybe you're trying to have a family. And that way, being with them aligned with your purpose. But the moment they stopped providing their side of the bargain and you started to, wait, where are you going? Why are you leaving? And you started to chase, you are out of alignment with your purpose. In this way, then you're in violation of one of the laws of healing. We cannot chase a person that doesn't want to be there for us, or that says they want to but doesn't actually do it. We cannot chase a person that cannot show us love. That puts us out of alignment with our purpose. And if you're out of alignment with your purpose, then where are you going? You would be like a person who gets in their car and drives but doesn't have a destination. Now, there's nothing wrong with going for a ride. But ultimately, if you don't have a destination, then where are you going to end up? The reality is you don't really know. A lot of times, even if you're going for a drive, you do have a destination, which is out and then back home. So there is actually a destination. But if you actually set out on a trip where you don't have the plan to end up back at your house, then you're just directionless. And it makes it so you don't know where to turn when you get to intersections, because you don't have a direction, you don't have a destination. That is how it is when you're living life without a purpose. You don't know what to turn when you get to intersections of life. How can you make decisions without a purpose? You can't. And if anyone here struggles with indecisiveness, probably you lack purpose or you lack alignment with your purpose. So what is your purpose? Do you know what your purpose is? Some trauma survivors have kind of lost touch with purpose, and they don't even like to talk about this subject because it's just so foreign. It's something that they never knew. But for me, as a trauma healer, I'm letting you know that the people who are resilient and going through traumas but still coming out of the other end untraumatized are people who are driven by purpose. They knew their purpose. And if it was when they were children that they had the trauma, because they had their purpose early on, they're coming out of it untraumatized because they had a very keen sense of purpose, and that helped them to navigate and to process and to make decisions despite what happened to them. Can you see how a man losing his girlfriend would be different if he has purpose versus if he doesn't? Imagine a man who doesn't have purpose losing his girlfriend. He probably would say something like, I feel like she was my everything. I feel like I lost everything. She was my world. My whole world is closing down. I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to do anything anymore. I don't have any energy for anything anymore. Now, a lot of you here are women. Do you feel attracted to a man that you've already left him for things he needs to work on, but now due to his unmotivation, because he loved you so much and he lost you, he doesn't accomplish anything. He doesn't grow. He doesn't change. He doesn't get better. Are you starting to feel attracted? No, that would actually confirm for you that you made the right choice to leave him. The same goes in the opposite direction. If it's female getting left by a male, it's not going to attract your mate for you to just be so sad that you can't function. You're not getting your ex back doing that. It's not a good strategy, if you will. So I want you to imagine instead the guy who's got purpose and he loses his girlfriend. And he goes, oh, without my girlfriend, what do I have? And then he's like, oh, I still have my business and I still have my degree and I still have my plans and I still have my friends and I still got my boat and I still got my, right? I'm still going to build my house and I'm still going to do that trip to Afghanistan and go dig water wells in Africa. Right? So then let's say he pursues all of that and he continues to move forward and he starts getting some of that stuff done. So you're like, hey, let me check in on my ex and just, see where he's at, how he's doing. And he's digging water wells in Africa. He's fitter than he was when you were together. Do you see how there's a better chance for attraction, re-attracting the mate back? You see the difference? Purpose is what allows you to go through a trauma and grow through it instead of just go through it. This guy came out of a breakup looking like Bachelor of the Year. Now all the girls are interested because he was focused on a purpose. When he lost his girlfriend, he said, oh, too bad. Well, anyway, I've always wanted to do this humanitarian trip to Afghanistan. You understand? It's like he's got other things going that he wants to do and he's focused on. So he just continues forward. Is it hard to do that? Sure. But is it necessary? Yes. And if you want to have resilience, which you do, you're going to need to be able to focus on your purpose and not just allow the loss to become your attention magnet. You're just focused on the thing you lost. There it goes. Dang it. I had that person. Now I lost them. There's no point. There's no value to that. You will have nothing to show for the time that passes. So what's your purpose? Oh, I did start early. What am I doing? I forgot about the time. Oh, sorry about that. Thank you for telling me. My bad. I misread the time because I'm in a different time zone than I was in last week. Anyway, we're already on it, so we're gonna keep it pushing. So, what's your purpose? Do you know what your purpose is? Do you have something picked out? A lot of people get confused with purpose because it's a really big word. Kind of like, oh, my purpose? Oh, it's like huge, But don't be intimidated. It sounds crazier and more grandiose than it is. It's just another word for what are your goals and projects that you're working on right now. That's all. It's going to change. It's going to evolve with time. But what are your goals or what's the project that you're working on right now? What are you trying to be? What are you trying to accomplish? I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to get better. Like, yeah, that's a given. Okay, you're hitting me with the bare minimum. And it's nebulous and it's non-committal. You understand? Oh, I'm just trying to be a better man. Okay. So how do we do, you know what I mean? It's like, how do you know when you got there? I'm just trying to survive, Roman. You don't understand. Okay, that's bare minimum. I'm just trying to raise these kids. Okay, that's bare minimum. Just letting you know. I know that's like half of your purposes that you guys had in mind, but I'm just letting you know that's not what I mean when I say your purpose. That's bare minimum. Your purpose has to be something above basic survival. No, continue to work on me. That's what I just said. That's the same thing. I'm just trying to grow. I'm just trying to survive. I'm just trying to heal. Okay, that's basic survival. Okay, we all have to grow and heal. So that's a given purpose that everyone here is also working on. But you also need, beside that, direction. You need a personal direction. What's the project that you're working on? Don't say me. You need something else besides I'm just trying to improve me. Yeah, good. Good. We're all trying to do that though. Everyone here is trying to improve themselves. What else are you going to do before you die? What are you going to leave behind? What are you going to accomplish? What are you going to create that wasn't here before? What are you going to get done so that you can look back? Listen to me. What are you going to get done so that you can look back and say, I'm glad I did that. Because 2 years is about to pass by. You can't stop it. 600 days is going to pass by. So what's something that, since 600 days is going to pass you anyway, that you will look back 600 days later and say, that was worth the hassle. That was worth the suffering to get it done. I'm glad I did it. Like literally like that. That will be your attitude to it. What is something that's worthwhile like that? Let's brainstorm on this so we can help each other to get our purposes figured out. Okay? Let's help each other. I know a lot of times a lot of you here are like feeling lost on this subject. This is one that most trauma survivors really struggle with because the one thing you know how to do is survive. So go ahead and give yourself a hand. Let's take a minute and acknowledge you're good at surviving. You had abusers, molesters, rapists, predators, every type of terrible person raising you. Narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths. And you survived, okay? So I want to acknowledge you're good at surviving. But now when I say, okay, what's your purpose going to be? You're like, I'm going to survive. Okay. We're done with that. We're done with that. That's bare minimum. That's bare minimum. It's like if you had a child and someone was like, what do you hope for your child? And you're just like, well, I'm going to feed it. Like, yeah, right. But we're hoping for more for our children than just that they get food. We're hoping for more. So think about yourself. You're here. You're a ball of raw materials. Okay. If I gave you raw materials like wood and I said, what's the purpose of this wood? You wouldn't be able to directly answer unless you gave the wood a purpose. Or if I gave the wood a purpose, which is what? Maybe that it could be firewood. You can use it for carving. You can make statues. You can make weapons out of it. You can do a lot of things with wood, right? Make paper out of it. But those are purposes for the wood. Where did those purposes come from? You gave those purposes to the wood. That is you. Like wood, you are a ball of raw materials. You have beauty, body, talents, abilities, skills, and aptitudes. And aptitude means you don't even have the talent yet, but you could learn it. Whereas maybe I couldn't. Maybe you have an aptitude for learning music, or I don't, or more so than me. So identify your aptitudes. Like what comes easy to me? What do I learn well? What do I enjoy? Right? But you're going to pick something. based on your resources and what you have to work with right now, that you can channel your energy into, and that you can create something, so you can look back after 600 days and say, I spent my time working on this, right? So at one point, right, remember when I told you my story of my avoidant, who I didn't know was avoidant, right? I'm in a relationship for a year, and then she freaks out, does the thing that avoidants do, where they get like a story in their head from some maladaptive belief, and then they leave. So she poof, disappears. What do? Right? I'm panicking. Where does she need help? What's happening? I want to help her. Like, is she okay? Like, she's not talking to me, right? So what do I do with that? Well, I got to lock in on purpose. So what did I decide to do for purpose? Well, since I'm really interested in being able to help her with this thing that she has, and I'm discovering that she has this CPTSD, I want to become an expert in the CPTSD, and then I want to help trauma survivors. So then that becomes the purpose. What specifically? That I'm going to create a nonprofit that focuses on assisting trauma survivors to heal from CPTSD. I want to help trauma survivors to heal, right? So that's basically my purpose. There you go. That's an example of purpose. Then I worked on it, and then it started to be created. I started to meet with people, right? And started to create the treatment program, right? And do deep research, right? And there's so much work and stuff that goes into it, that every day I'm waking up with a very clear sense of where I'm going. How many days a week do I work on my purpose? 7 days. All day? No. Just with the time that you're not spending on basic survival, you put it towards something above basic survival. Okay? So let's talk about it. One person said starting my own business. That's good. Just be more specific. Don't just say starting my business is my purpose. What business are you starting? I'm going to start a macaroni business. All we sell is macaroni. Good. Now we got a purpose. That's your project. You work on it. Be like Christ each day? No. Why? Because that's just, I want to improve. I want to be better. We all need to be more like Christ each day. So since we all just got to do it anyway, it becomes a default automatic. Get specific. What specific thing did Christ do that you're going to do, and how are you going to do it in your own way? Create a specific purpose. If you met Christ and he said to you, what have you gotten done for me? You can't say, I was trying to be more like you. Because he'll be like, good. What have you gotten done? What did you do? You understand? It's not going to be enough for him. We know that because he told us in the parables. It's not enough to just give me what I gave you. Multiply the talents. So what are you going to do? You're going to be like him by accomplishing what goal? What's the project? Can religion be a purpose? What are you going to do in your religion? Religion itself is not your purpose. You can't be like, Islam is my purpose. You got to be like, I'm going to be an imam of the 5th chapter of the mosque on 2nd Street. You got to give me something specific that you're going to do. I'm trying to dream about my future with no kids. I don't know what you're saying there. Let's figure out a purpose for you. That's a future dream. Like, what's the purpose that you're going to build? Something that you have mostly in your control to work towards. I'm trying to refine my performances choreography. That's close. We know you're a dancer, so we got something specific, but I want to improve in my dancing. Good. Get a little more specific. Like, what in your dancing? You said your performances, your choreography. You want to be a better choreographer. Like, you're almost there. You're like 90+% there. Like, try to create a tangible marker so you can look back and say, oh, I hit my marker. Like, I want to choreograph my first group dance, or I want to get a TikTok where I choreographed it and it went above 5,000 likes. Like, give me something a little more tangible with your choreography. But you're like 90+% there. It's something specific. It's dance, it's choreography. We know you want to improve, but we're all trying to improve. So what are you going to do? What's going to be like the end result that you're going to pull out of this? It doesn't have to be big. That's correct. Establish a private practice as a therapist. That's perfect. There's a purpose. This person wants to establish a private practice as a therapist. It's a very clear goal, but it's broad enough where she's gonna or he's gonna define it as they're going. I'm thinking lunch business. Cool. I don't know what that is, but cool. It's a purpose. I'm going to make a lunch business. Awesome. I don't know, get more specific. It's going to be a food truck, you might need some more specifics there, but that's good. I like it. What if I am a project? Ha ha ha, crying emoji, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we're all a project. That's the basic. Let's go. What are you going to do? What are you going to build? I'm serious. Give me something. I need something from you. Let's figure out our purpose, guys. By the way, it's not coming from someone telling you what your purpose is. It's coming from you choosing what your purpose is, right? So get it done. Why do I need something else? I am my project. Yeah, this is the survival self fighting against doing more than just survival, because the one thing you're good at is survival. So, I shouldn't have to work and do anything. I don't want to do anything, right? That's going to be 30% of the comments here in the chat is, why should I have to do anything more than just be me? Okay, right. Because life was hard. I understand. Just trust me. I'm telling you how to heal. If you want to go to survival class where you just survive and you don't heal and you don't grow, leave the room and go to someone else's class. This is how you actually heal. This is how you actually grow. A car, if you leave it in the garage, it will still look good. It will survive, but it will use its usability. It will lose the usability if you don't use it for its intended purpose. For us as humans, we are mini creators. You are a creator. You have to create something. That's why. Because you are sinning by not living up to your potential and creating something. That's your answer. Why else? Because if you don't have a purpose, you don't have a direction, so you don't know how to make decisions. Why else? Because there's more trauma to come, and I'm trying to help you build resilience. So there's the answer to the question for those of you who are wondering why you have to do this. Follow my education around the world, workshops, motivational speaking, writing a book. Good. I don't know what you mean by follow. Spread your education around the world. That's good. As long as you're the one doing the motivational speaking workshops. Yeah. So it's not just an improving thing for you, but it's I'm going to go out and do this to help others to improve, because we're all trying to improve and learn, right? So that's good. You're going to take that and you're going to spread your education. That is good purpose right there. It's very specific. You named motivational speaking. You named writing a book. Very specific. You're going to have to narrow down what's going to be the project right now that you're working on and get working on that. But very good. You definitely have the purpose set out. Get a promotion by next year, start a business. Sounds good. Getting a business into a world standard. I don't know what that is, but that sounds great. Sounds amazing. Be specific, though, you guys, about your business. What specific type of business are you going to do? Help take kids out of being trafficked. Exactly. That's a purpose. That's what I'm talking about. I just did that. I extracted someone out of a trafficking ring. That's a purpose. It took me a month to just focus on this person and to fix it and to get it done. You have a project that you're waking up on every day. I'm going to do this. I'm going to focus on this. Actually got 2 people out. Better my finances. That's an improvement thing. That's good. Get specific. Maybe you're going to buy something or do something or get the credit score a certain way. Be a little more specific, like to what aim, to what goal, what tangible result in the end. Buy some property out of the country. That's a goal. That's a goal. That's good. That's good. That's good. As long as you're working toward that. Trying to find your purpose? No, that's not your purpose. You can figure out your purpose right here with the rest of us right now. I want a horse. That's cute. Like a little princess. Okay, so your purpose is to get a horse and do what with it? Like, what are we going to do with the horse when we get the horse? Your purpose needs to be something that's beneficial for you and others. So what are you going to do with it? Stuck in survival mode for too long. Yep. We're getting out of that. I'm teaching you how to think out of survival mode. I know it might hurt the brain a little bit. Like, this is weird. I don't know how to do this. Talk to me. Let me know what your questions are. I'm going to help you. I like to be a homeowner, adopt a kitten and a weenie dog, travel with the two. I like it. Think a little bit more outside of what you're doing for you. Make it mutually beneficial. So I'm going to do this for me. This is good because you're going to adopt a kitten. That's going to be good for a kitten. That's good. And a weenie dog. Somebody's got to love them. So the question is, how is this going to be beneficial also for others? So it's good. It's good. You have purpose. I just want you to think a little more outward for how it's going to be mutually beneficial for the universe around you. Although it is going to be helpful to a kitten. I think you can do more though. I want to get a rental property. Cool. And what are you gonna do with so it's like a financial goal. That's specific. I like that. Specific financial goal. I teach English to Hispanics and we'll go into elementary school to help students. Beautiful. That's purpose. Nice and clear, nice and specific. I want to be a career I work at, so I am look after people with complex needs. Good. Sounds specific, even though I don't know what complex needs. That's good. Start a clothing brand. Beautiful. I love that. It's exciting. Let's get to work. I mentor girls to lead boldly, build wealth intentionally, walk the world with confidence. Love it. That's purpose. That's purpose. What's the next goal with it? Like, what's the next thing you're going to do? You're going to expand your followers. You're going to open a place, or like, what's the next big thing you're going to do with that? I really want to help the poor. Got to get more specific than that. Is it going to be the guy outside of CVS tomorrow, or are you starting a nonprofit? You got to get really specific. I need to paint again. Yeah, but to what aim? Good. Yeah, you need to paint again. I agree. But to what? Like, you're going to paint what? For what aim? What are you going to do with it? I want to help women / marriage in my church to stay in the marriage because they're afraid to leave. Or that stay in the marriage. Yep, that sounds beautiful. Yep. I got to help them. Start a cybersecurity business. I love it, Mike. I love it. That sounds amazing for you, for the world. It sounds lucrative. It's driven. It's specific. It's helpful. It's needed. I want to help the poor. Is that a purpose? It is a purpose, but you got to get specific about what you're going to do for the poor, because it's too nebulous. So you're still going to lose your direction. You still don't know what you're going to do. I'll be purchasing a rental property to have extra income. I get it. Yeah, you're going to have that. I get that. I get that. I see how that's going to work out. Start my own project management consulting company. I am so glad to hear that, Gretch. You needed to have been done that. That is definitely a beautiful purpose. Get it going. That's definitely what I want to see. Start a cybersecurity business and get a government contract. You're getting even more specific, Mike. It's getting really good. You can't control the government contract, but you're going to go for the government contract, which is great. Specific, measurable, attainable. Very true. Very good. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. These are like SMART goals for ourselves, our purpose. Mutually beneficial for you and for others. I want to have a club, classy adult performances. That's a purpose. Set up a home for the elderly. That's purpose. Very good. I want to become a property casualty insurance agent so I can open my own insurance agency. That's purpose. Very good. I want to use my trauma to write a book. That's good. There you go. I'm not just heal. You get it, guys? I had trauma, so I just want to heal. Use your trauma to write a book to help girls understand that they can have purpose. Okay, very good. I'm trying to do a clothing business. Good. Get specific, what kind and all that for yourself. You don't have to write it to me. Continue working on my painting and writing skills. That's just an improvement thing. I think it's good that you want to do that, but what are you going to do with it? For what? There's a project that you're going to need something you're going to accomplish in the next 600 days. What are you going to accomplish with it? Done with that phase. I'm evolving and learning. No, what are you talking about? You need a purpose. Evolving and learning is what we're all doing. Does purpose need to be outside of excelling at work? Not necessarily. No, sometimes for some of us, our career is our purpose, but not for all of us. Sometimes we're just working to make money, and that's not really our true purpose that we're really intent on working on. Club, entertainment businesses, performance where there are many different art forms. Beautiful. I want to gain experience in event planning, coordinating. by shadowing an expert in the business. Good. That's something you can get done in the next 600 days. It's measurable. So you can say, I did it. I shadowed someone in the business. I got experience. Good. How do you build resilience? By telling me what your purpose is. This is about resilience. I want to build an app and publish it in the App Store by the end of the year. Now you're talking. That's what I'm talking about. Don't give yourself the end of the year deadline. Don't make it like a hard deadline, but be like I'm going to do it, and then give yourself the soft deadline in your head. Like, I would like to get it done by the end of the year. But don't make it like a hard deadline where if you didn't hit that specific date, it's a failure or something. It's not like that. You just keep working at it till you get it done. Like if it took you 15 months rather than 12, that's okay. Which, by the way, that's kind of what happens with building apps. Like, it takes a lot longer than expected. Can you give examples other than work example? Hopefully you're hearing these examples. I'm working on my exit plan from a relationship. That's basic survival. It is like a hierarchy of needs situation right now. That is what you're working on. So I'll accept that, because you got to get out. But you do need to tell me what your purpose is going to be once you're out. Like, what's the next step? So you can say, well, right now I'm focusing on this. That's true. But what is your purpose though? Like, what are you going to do with your talents and self once you get that goal of getting out of that relationship? Billionaire tech developer in the area of finance. I developed an app, wrote a book. Good. I want to study nutrition so I can start growing my own herbs and food. Good. Set a goal for what you want to accomplish within the next 600, but it's definitely a purpose. You definitely got it. Buying a house for my family. Good. Singing for an audience as a jazz soul singer. Good. Training to climb Mount Baker, Mount Kilimanjaro. I'm not going to say good because I'm worried about your safety, but it is purpose. You have purpose. Find a way to make it beneficial for others as well, though. Might make the rental an Airbnb. Lovely. Breaking out of emotional dependence and building successful social housing business. Good. We're on early today. Yep, that's my mistake. Sorry about that. How do we protect ourselves from manipulative people? That's not a purpose. Travel cross country on a train, solo traveling. I like it. It's a goal, but get thinking outside yourself too. Like, what am I going to do for others ultimately? Nothing wrong with taking a trip for yourself, but I want you to do something that's going to be like, affect other people, not just your own goals, your own self. My goal, I want you to read my comment. Accomplished. Now you need a new goal. Start being more consistent with my paintings and drawings so I can go to art shows. Good. So you can show in art shows. That would be something that you can measurably say, I've done it. Very good. Yes. Next thing is getting government contracts with schools and to do after. So to pursue. You can't control if you get them, but I'm going to be pursuing the government contacts. But I love it. After school programming, summer camps, definitely 100%. You're on top of your purpose. Beautiful. Where is he reading? I'm 21 comments behind. Also be in a healthy relationship. It's something that's something you're looking to obtain, but don't make a relationship your purpose. Leading a Bible study in healing. Good. There you go. You want to lead a Bible study. That's a purpose. And there you go. Like from the Christ thing, like I want to be more like Christ. That's just growing and improving. And it's not enough for Christ. I'm leading a Bible study, or I'm going to lead a Bible study. Ding, ding. That is actually being like Christ, because that's what he did. You understand? And now you can actually present something tangible to him. You understand? So now you're getting it right there. Obtain my MBA in cybersecurity management. Beautiful. Very, very specific. Trying to heal from, you might want to hook up with the other guy and you guys start a mind meld of cybersecurity. Trying to heal from being married to a narcissist. By hookup, I mean mentally, like to talk, just to make sure we're clear. Trying to heal from being married to a narcissist, now divorce. Yep. Healing is not your purpose. Healing is what we are all trying to do. Every human on earth needs to grow. And that's what healing is growth. So that's the bare minimum basic. Congratulations. Now what? Building the courage to leave the marriage because of domestic violence. Yeah, that's going to be step number one, is to get out of that situation. But you still need a purpose. And your purpose is not just to get out of your marriage. That's not your whole purpose. You got to have like a goal that you are a human that's trying to accomplish or create something. And you need to do this so you can get there. So you need to know what it is you're trying to get out for. You got to understand your purpose. Today's rule is everything must align with your purpose. Day 9 is everything must align with your purpose. I'm an LMFT working on becoming my private practice after leaving Kaiser Permanente. Beautiful. Getting my driver's license to drive to my book signing performances, almost there. Good. Serve others in my community. How specifically? I'm single with a 4-year-old. I've been so hard being like Christ, feeling like dealing with Judah. You mean Judas? I would love to join Bible study. Very good. So there you go. So being like Christ, but then you get specific. I'm going to start a Bible study, lead a Bible study, teach a Bible study, assist with a Bible study, something you're going to do something that's outwardly beneficial for others. That was all of them, guys. Very good. So now we've got purpose. Sounds like most people here should have a sense of purpose. If you don't, you can ask me a question about purpose if you don't know how to set your purpose. Now that you have it, everything you do must align with your purpose, not try to do some things and try to make some things, hopefully, and maybe occasionally certain things no. Everything you do must align with your purpose. So you have to be able to justify every single action in alignment with your purpose. If you eat, you need to eat the breakfast. Like if my goal is to be an Olympic champion, then I must eat the breakfast that will help me be an Olympic champion. When I sleep, I'm sleeping to get the rest so that I can continue on my path to being an Olympic champion. If I meet with a friend, I need to ask myself, how is this going to help me to be an Olympic champion? Should someone who's trying to be an Olympic champion go to all the parties that he's invited to? The answer is no. No, because that doesn't align with his purpose. If someone's purpose is, I want to be a socialite in New York, so they move to New York, and then they get invited to parties, should she go to all the parties she's invited to? Yes, because she wants to be a socialite in New York. So is it wrong to go to all the parties, or is it right to go to all the parties? Who's got the answer? Is it wrong to go to all the parties, or is it right to go to all the parties? Who's got the answer? Is it wrong to go to all the parties? Because remember, the Olympic athlete, Laura's got the answer. Laura's got the answer. The Olympic athlete should not go to all the parties if he wants to be an Olympic athlete. The New York socialite should go to all the parties. Helen's got the answer. Heidi's got the answer. Yeah, it's got to align with your purpose. It's right for you if it aligns with, now you get it, right? So that's exactly right, guys. So here's how we now know how to make decisions. I now know what kind of socks to wear because I got to wear the socks that aligns with my purpose. If my goal is to be a fashion icon, I cannot wear unfashionable socks. If my goal is to be a computer programmer, it doesn't matter what kind of socks I wear. So I can wear unfashionable socks. Our decisions will depend. There is no right and wrong. It's what's right for you based on your purpose, and everything you do must align with your purpose. This is what creates a direction. This is what creates clarity. And this is what gives you resilience when you go through a trauma. Because if everything you do is all about succeeding at your purpose, the traumas start to roll off of you like water on a duck's feathers. If I'm so focused on my cybersecurity business, I'm going to have a cybersecurity. It's going to be a cybersecurity. It's going to be so secure. I'm focused, right? I got this girlfriend, right? And she's, well, you know what? You just seem to be really worried about your cybersecurity. Yeah, I'm focused on my cybersecurity. First of all, she's going to find that attractive that I actually have a purpose, right? Even though she complains about it. And her goal subconsciously is to try to get me to break down off of it. It was really so she could test me to see how really real I am really about it, right? But if I don't fall for it and I'm like, cybersecurity, that's what I'm all about. And then if she says, you know, I'm going to leave, and let's say she leaves for any reason in the world, who knows what she leaves for? I'm going to be like, dang. Well, anyway, this cybersecurity business is about to be lit. Why wasn't I traumatized by the loss of my girlfriend? The next morning, I would wake up and work on my cybersecurity business. And when I have some free time at night, I would work on my cybersecurity business. And during lunch, when I start to miss her, because we normally text during lunch, I would look up computer chips for my cybersecurity business. Why aren't I traumatized by the loss of my girlfriend? Because I have purpose, and she isn't my purpose. Bingo. You nailed it, Laura. Laura's a sharp one today. Yeah. She no longer fits in my purpose. Yeah. Because I'm filling the void with purpose. Yeah. Because I focus on my purpose. You got it. The purpose creates the resilience. That's the secret. Some of you ladies here had some really beautiful purpose, like, I'm going to help young women to learn how to be resilient and find their purpose, right? So you're writing books and you're traveling and you're speaking and you got this boyfriend, right? And then the boyfriend ghosts you, abandons you, ignores your text. And what are you going to do if you help girls around the world to find their purpose and to heal? What's the next move you're going to make? Oh, that's weird. He's not texting. Jeez, that's so... Man, people can be so disappointing. Anyway, let's get with my girls. Let's see what my girls are doing. Texting the girls, yeah, girl, I know how it is. I know. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I know how these men can be. Let me tell you. Why weren't you traumatized by losing your boyfriend? You just lost your boyfriend. The next day, you're giving a speech somewhere telling girls you know how these men can be. How did you not get traumatized? Same answer. Yeah, you get the point, right? Because you're focused on your purpose, because you have a purpose. The purpose is what pulls you through the trauma. It makes it so that whatever happened to you, you turn it around and you make it work for you. Here's the next level, since we started early today. You make that sucker work for you. Whatever happened to you. Because every trauma, every terrible abuse and indignity that happens to you can be flipped to happen for you because there's something you gain. If nothing else, credibility. Some people just know how to survive. But you now know how to thrive. I don't know if Don Lemon got fired from CNN or if he quit. I don't know. But he didn't say, oh, well, I lost my job and all I know how to do is to be a newscaster and I don't know what to do now. No, he started his podcast or his streaming channel, right? Good. So then what happens? One day he's sitting here looking at his streaming channel and he goes, you know what? I'm on track to make more money doing this than I was being an anchor at CNN. What do you know? And he's not the only one. Look at how many guys getting fired from radio, losing their job in the news, and they come on TikTok, and then we all follow them because they have the brand recognition. What do you think is going to happen to Stephen Colbert when his show ends? if he chooses to shrivel up, which he probably wouldn't because he knows how to thrive, but if he chooses to shrivel up, then he would just disappear, and we would go, oh, what happened to that one guy? But if he chooses to pursue purpose, that he's going to start something else that's going to be even more popular than the last thing he did. That's how it works. So then what happens to Don Lemon? He gets caught up in the situation. He gets arrested. The president doesn't like him, so he arrested him. Okay. So he has choices here. This is a trauma. 12 men came, snatched him up. He didn't get to tell his loved ones where he was at. It's a trauma for him. This is not a joke. This is scary. This is the federal government. What is he going to do? You can make these traumas work for you when you have purpose. Because what ended up happening is then the entire world, or at least the nation, those who are following the news, all wanted to see where he was at and what he was doing. Which means this guy, who is either fired or former newscaster, again, I don't know what happened in his last job, started an online little podcast like what we do right here on TikTok, and then it was already popular, and now it's going to become the most number one popular news thing, because now the whole nation is looking at him because the worst thing just happened to him, because he just went through a trauma. If you learn to pursue purpose, you become resilient, so that even the bad things that happen to you can be finessed to happen for you. And so that's why everything you do must align with your purpose. Everything you do must align with your purpose. You can come out of it better than ever. He definitely is going to have way more followers now, way more eyes. He's good. I'm not even worried about him. He's good. As far as his little podcast or whatever it is that he does, it's going to blow up huge now because he's got all that attention. Same thing happened to Jimmy Kimmel, right? When they took him off the air, all of a sudden he became more popular. That was a trauma for him. Everybody lost their job for 3 days or however long it was. You turn it around and you make it work for you. Whatever happens to you, you turn it around and you make it work for you. You turn it around and you make it work for you, because everything must align with your purpose. So you ask yourself, how am I going to make this align with my purpose? Candace Owens, another one. Yep. There's a lot of folks, people who you see thriving, they have this quality. They have this quality of having purpose, goals that they're working toward, and they flip around the trauma and the tragedy that happens to them, and it becomes the best thing that could happen to them. In the sense that you wouldn't wish it on anyone. But it's perspective. You got to control the perspective. You can make these things work for you. If nothing else, it's giving you credibility that's allowing you to reach people. So you ready to go with your purpose? Make sure everything you do aligns with your purpose. Now that you've been dumped, discarded, ghosted, blocked, now's your time. Now's your moment to focus in, to zero in, and make sure everything is lining up with your purpose. And guess what? That person no longer aligns. That's it. It's just that simple. You love them. It hurts. It hurts to say it. It hurts to think it. Dang. You no longer align with my purpose. I thought you were going to help me to be cybersecurity. I thought you were going to help me to do my podcast. I thought you were going to help me, but you're not. You're not supporting me in my purpose. I got to go. I got to go. Allow yourself to feel like you're the one leaving. Now it's time for you to leave the relationship. They left, but you haven't left because you're still thinking about and wishing and hoping. It's time for you to leave now. Be like, okay, I wasn't the first to go, but I'm not going to be the last to just stick around here forever. I'm going to go too, because I got stuff I got to work on. Make sense? Okay, let's open up for questions, comments, concerns. If you're just joining us, I did start a little early, but don't worry, I'll repeat anything I need to repeat regarding the theme for today, which is everything you do must align with your purpose. hopefully everybody here today learned what their purpose is or how to create a purpose for themselves. Nobody here should be still like, I don't have a purpose. You should know something. Because we had so many great examples to learn from. If you still need help, let me know. Do you record these sessions on YouTube? I missed a few days. I do record these sessions. I don't have them posted anywhere yet. That will take time because the sessions are long. They're like 45 to an hour. If I don't include the questions, they're like 2 hours with the questions. So those are pretty long to get rendered and posted. Could take some time. Are you a counselor? Yeah, you can do one-on-one sessions with me by going to the website. Link is in the bio. Just tap on my picture, and that will take you to my page. And then there's a link on my page, front and center. You click on that link, that takes you to the website, and then set up a session with me. Yes, you can ask about relationships. You can ask me about avoidant attachment now. You can ask me about whatever. How long should it take to get your goals accomplished? It's a never-ending process. You shouldn't focus as much on the deadline. The deadlines are good in the sense like when you use them as like motivation, like I'm trying to get it done by this time, that's great. But always have in the back of your mind, it's okay if it's not done exactly on a deadline. There's a lot of evolution and flexibility and pivoting that has to happen with purpose. There will be times where you have to change it slightly. Like when I started this particular like counseling specifically for trauma survivors, I wasn't sure how to get money out of it because that wasn't the main purpose. I knew I was going to need money, but it was like, I don't know exactly how I will get money. There's a lot of ways that could happen. I set it up as a nonprofit so I could be straight donations. It could be through writing a book. It could be through selling courses. It could be through doing one-on-one sessions. It could be through when I started doing sessions, I was doing them for free on a donation basis, so you could just pay whatever. So it could be that I could just keep doing sessions on a pay whatever basis, and maybe it all works out. And it did work for a while. I did that for quite some time. I was doing Zooms. I still do Zooms. So it's like, what's going to be the way that this makes... one of the ways I was thinking of is training other therapists, and then they pay for the training, or training therapists that work under me, and then we build like a whole structure, like a whole company, and then we're just taking in clients, and then like when you're coming, instead of working with me, I would be assigning you to work with therapists that work for me. So it's like, how does the money work? That was a big question that I had. So I had to just move forward with openness, with faith and love, and give. Free economics model, right? Where you give 90% for free, and then you only charge for 10% of what you do. And that's what I'm doing right now. And it turned out basically almost all of those things bring in streams of income of their own. So it just all works together to create enough to survive. But you're going to have to evolve and pivot and change certain things. I didn't end up hiring therapists that like work for me, but I do train therapists, but I didn't end up focusing on that end of the business. So I had to pivot that. Should I cut out all contact with the avoidance family and his daughter where he has told them how ghosted? Should you cut all contact with the avoidance family where he hasn't told them that he ghosted? You need to cut off contact with him. If you have relationships with other people, there's nothing that says you have to cut off contact with them. But focusing on right now prioritizing your healing. If it's not going to help you in your healing to have contact with his people, I can see how that could be additionally triggering and like additionally like holding you back because it's keeping you stuck in thinking about him all the time. So it depends on an individual basis if it's good for you, if it's going to be beneficial for you to cut off those extra contacts. How do I overcome the fear of not being able to achieve that purpose? Well, one of the laws of healing is never do anything out of fear, always do everything out of love. So tap into love, Helen, instead of fear. And what does love tell you? If you're focusing on love instead of fear, what does love tell you? Let me know what love tells you. I have a girlfriend, she's avoidant. She don't even want to talk to me right now. What should I do? Mirror her energy. So she doesn't want to talk to you, so you must mirror that. Like, okay, then I don't want to talk to you either. And now get focused on purpose. You need to get focused on your purpose. After the 12 days, 3 more to go, will you still go live and share daily? Nope. I become a ghost again, and I'm gone. This is it. I don't want to just survive. I want more than enough to help others and expand the kingdom. Now you're talking, my sister. Now you're talking, and that's what your God would want you to do, to expand your kingdom. Absolutely. To expand his kingdom. Absolutely. Yeah. So you got to get to work. Set a very specific goal on what you're going to do to help expand the kingdom. Who are you going to be preaching to? Who are you going to be witnessing to? What's your information? Like, get specific. Like, what are you going to do? I ended it after 6 weeks, and he wrote, "I wish you all the best from the heart." Will he ever reach out? You ended it, and he wrote you, and now you're asking me if he'll reach out? That sounds manipulative. Why don't you just focus on your goals? You already ended the relationship. If you want to get back together, then go get back together. You ended it. If you don't want to get back together, then don't worry about whether he's reaching out. I'm struggling right now to recover. Just broke down in the store. I'm no contact. Do your devaluation list, Chantel. Do your devaluation list. That's going to help you. That's your first step. Women don't go without attention. Avoiding equals there's something else. No, chaps. You have a limited life experience. That is not true. Every time a woman does avoidant activities doesn't mean that she's with another man. Sorry, sir. You don't understand mental illness. How do I get over the pain of finding out my ex cheated on me our entire dating and marriage? Stop focusing on that. I mean, you actually even wrote that out, which means that you're playing that in your head all the time. You're focusing on that, which gives it too much. It gives it too much power. You got to get focused on your purpose. It's just information. Like, oh, well, now I know. Like, too bad he lied to me. Too bad he wasn't honest with me. But now I know. I've been scammed. Welcome to the ranks of all the other humans on earth who have been scammed, which is all of us. Everybody's been lied to. So you're like all of us. Normalize it in your head. Okay, so like everyone else, I was lied to by someone that I trusted. Okay, now what? Let's get to work. You need to focus the energy on the mind, not on what was lost, not on what bad happened to you, but on what you're going to make happen and what you still have. Focus on what you have. Don't leave us. Hey, we just got a few more days. You got to make the best of it. I have been so desperate. I want to break up. I'm so sad. Well, she changed after she got a lot of work. Agnes, let me know if you have a question. Thank you for sharing, though. I feel I have so many small purposes. Is there a process to find the right one? Pick the top 2 and focus on working on those. The devaluation list has been saving my life lately. Yeah, tell this one sister who just came in here to do the devaluation list. She's hurting. She's breaking down in the store. This is the first thing you got to do. Love your perspective, Roman. Thanks. I will tell you, Esther, I do feel like calling it my perspective feels diminishing. I'm just telling the truth. But I'll take it. I think it's meant to be accomplishment. It's true. It will make you feel better, shift your focus to you and goals. Yes. Yes, it's so necessary. I only ended it because he mistreated me. I wanted to set boundaries. Okay. So why are you worried about an abusive person reaching out to you? Why are you wondering that? Will my abuser ever reach out to abuse me again? See how that sounds? That doesn't sound healthy, does it? Why would you want that? Don't focus on if your abuser is going to reach out to double back for some more abuse. Is he done? Or does he have more abuse for me? The mistreatment was bad enough that you ended the relationship. Don't forget that. Don't forget that, man. I ended a 4-year relationship because of a lack of efforts on his part. I am sticking to no contact. Did you let him know why you ended the relationship and allow him to have his peace and talk to him clearly about your decision? Does the evaluation list work if you ended the relationship? Yes. Roman, where are you going? I just joined and missed that part. Where am I going? To the moon. I'm going everywhere my heart takes me. I'm going straight to the top.